Welcome to Catholic News World.
Welcome to Catholic News World. Please subscribe to our channel. My name is Steph. Here are this week's breaking news headlines.
Father Joseph Tran Ngoc Ton, the 41-year-old Vietnamese Dominican priest killed while hearing confessions, forgave his murderer according to the bishop. The murder occurred in the Diocese of Con Tum on January 29, 2022. Another Dominican religious, Friar Giao, and some faithful, blocked Nguyen Van Kien, the murderer, and handed him over to the local police. The man comes from a devoted Catholic family. He lived with his parents, a brother and a sister, who are distraught, but suffers from mental illness. Bishop Aloysio Nguyen Hung V comforted the faithful and asked them to pray incessantly so that the soul of Father Joseph may enjoy the face of our Father in heaven. The bishop recalled, Father Ton was a very young priest and was known as an educated, kind and likable man. His death is a great loss for the diocese, for the Dominican order and for his loved ones. He then went on to say, if at a civil level we follow the path of justice, with a look of faith we firmly reject all kinds of evil and we entrust everything to the mercy of God. Let us remember that the Son of Man will come with his angels in his Father's glory, and then he will repay everyone according to his conduct. Matthew 16:27. We are called to love, to forgive, to put aside disagreements and hatreds, and to pray that every sinner will repent. Peter Robert Forster, a former Anglican bishop, has been received into full communion with the Roman Catholic Church in 2021. According to Church Times, he now lives in Scotland, where he was received. He was born on the 16th of March 1950. He was the Bishop of Chester in the Church of England and a Lord Spiritual, member of the House of Lords. Forster was born in Solihull, England. In 2000, Forster represented the Church of England at the Worldwide Synod of Roman Catholic Bishops, held in Rome in the month of October. From 2001 to 2010 he was a member of the English Anglican Roman Catholic Committee. During his years as a member of the House of Lords, from 2001 to 2019, Forster initiated major debates on marriage, children and family life, and on the impact of pornography on society. Forster retired on the 30th of September 2019. Forster was received into the Roman Catholic Church in 2021. Forster married Elizabeth Ann Stevenson in 1978, and they have 4 children. Thieves entered a Franciscan Catholic church and scattered the Eucharist and steel sacred vessels used for Mass. A Franciscan Catholic church and convent in Santiago, Chile was robbed and desecrated on February 9, 2022. On the official Facebook page for the church they wrote, Brothers and sisters, we convey a sad and painful news to you. Early this morning we have been victims of robbery at our Franciscan Recollection Church. They have stolen from us all the objects of worship for the celebration of the Mass since the sacristy, and the most terrible thing, they have defiled the Holy Sacrament. Thank God the brothers are fine. It gives rage and sorrow that they look against a place that is in the service of God's people and those in need. In a subsequent post they ask all to join in prayer and Mass of reparation. We want to join us in prayer with a spirit of prayer and reparation in the Eucharist of appreciation for the acts committed in our Temple of the Franciscan Recoleta. Catholic Bishops of Quebec, Canada letter to faithful and remind government that vaccine passport requirement goes against our beliefs. In a letter they wrote, along with all people of faith, we, the Catholic Bishops of Quebec, welcome the reopening of places of worship on February 7, 2022. We see this as recognition by public authorities of the importance of religious gatherings and activities for a large number of citizens. It will thus be possible for the communities to gradually resume their activities and thus provide support and comfort to a large number of people. The resumption of our activities is an opportunity to recall the duty of the state to respect, promote and protect religious freedom. The Declaration on Religious Freedom made during the Second Vatican Council is very clear on this subject and we endorse this conviction. It is an essential duty for all civil power to protect and promote the inviolable rights of man. The civil power must therefore, by just laws and other appropriate means, effectively assume the protection of the religious freedom of all citizens and ensure favorable conditions for the development of religious life so that citizens are able to exercise their rights and to fulfill their religious duties, and that society itself may enjoy the goods of justice and peace flowing from the fidelity of men to God and His holy will. The reopening of our churches is the result of the many efforts of the members of the Table Interreligious de Concertation du Québec, with whom we are in solidarity and with whom we have coordinated our efforts to insistently ask the government to reopen places of worship as soon as possible. We have also insisted that people attending our assemblies be exempted from the requirement of the vaccination passport, aware of the negative effects of its imposition on our communities. We recognize that many believers believe that this requirement constitutes intolerable discrimination that deprives unvaccinated people of their right to religious freedom. This exclusion appears to them to be incompatible with the very essence of a welcoming community of believers, compassionate and open to diversity, with which we fully agree. However, in this exceptional time of pandemic, Catholics have a duty to join their efforts with those of all members of society to ensure the safety and health of all. And this, even if certain measures affect for a time the exercise of certain freedoms. The Declaration on Religious Freedom challenges us on this subject. At number 2 of this text, we can read, "This Vatican Council declares that the human person has the right to religious freedom. This freedom consists in the fact that all men must be exempt from all constraint on the part of individuals as well as of social groups and of any human power whatsoever, so that in religious matters no one is forced to act against his conscience nor prevented from acting, within just limits, according to his conscience, in private or in public, alone or in association with others." The Declaration therefore recognizes that just limits can be imposed on religious freedom in certain circumstances. Moreover, the Council Fathers also consider it necessary to underline in number 7 of the same declaration that this freedom is not absolute, it comes with a responsibility with regard to the common good. In the use of all freedom must be observed the moral principle of personal and social responsibility. The moral law obliges every man and social group to take into account, in the exercise of their rights, the rights of others, their duties towards others and for the common good of all. With regard to all, we must act with justice and humanity. Thus, for members of the Catholic community, the expression of religious freedom is not centered solely on individual rights and needs, but also on concern for the health of others. This freedom may exceptionally be subject to temporary restrictions for the common good. The same is true for freedom of conscience. Indeed, conscience does not operate in a vacuum. It is formed in dialogue with different sources of moral wisdom, and its decisions must be oriented towards others, in solidarity with others. As Pope Francis reminded us in an address to members of the Catholic media on January 28, 2022, we do not come out of a crisis alone. To do this, we must work together for others, especially those who are in need, and together in the service of the truth, which means seeking that which promotes communion and the good of all. As humanity faces the risks posed by the pandemic to our societies, Catholics recognize that the government not only has the right, but above all the duty to intervene to ensure the health and safety of all. It is the duty of the state, even if the decisions taken are imperfect and questionable, made at the cost of scientific and political compromises. While exercising healthy vigilance as well as our democratic duty to discuss and question certain decisions, we are challenged by the Apostle Paul, who reminds us to never stop supporting our rulers with our prayers. I encourage, above all, to make requests, prayers, intercessions and thanksgiving for all men, for heads of state and all those who exercise authority, so that we can lead our lives in peace and quiet, in all godliness and dignity. First Epistle to Timothy 2:1-2. This is why it seems reasonable to us, in the circumstances, to agree to certain compromises to contribute to the safety and health of all. For a time, we accept that the vaccination passport is required to access a place of worship, even if this measure upsets us deeply. However, we remain in contact with government authorities to remind them that this requirement goes against our beliefs and to ensure that it will be lifted as soon as it is safe to do so. That said, we would like to affirm the concern of all the pastors of our church to seek by all means to accompany and offer support to all those who for a time will not have access to our churches. Whether through individual meetings, through the broadcasting of celebrations, through outdoor celebrations or by any other safe means, we want all baptized persons to be welcomed and accompanied. In these exceptionally difficult times for everyone, we join our prayer to that of Pope Francis. I ask God, concludes the Holy Father, that each of us may bring his little grain of sand, his little gesture of love. In no way do the constraints we encounter prevent us from loving our neighbor, from helping him, from offering him our friendship. May the peace of the Lord and His grace be with you. The members of the executive of our assembly, the parish priest kidnapped on Sunday, February 6, 2022, has been released. Father Joseph Danjuma Shekari, the Nigerian priest kidnapped, February 6, has regained his freedom according to a statement from the Diocese of Kafanchan. Father Shekari was released around 10:30 p.m., local time, on Monday, February 7. Father Joseph Danjuma Shekari, parish priest of St. Monica's Catholic Church, Ikulu Parish, in the Koru local government area of Kaduna State, in north-central Nigeria, was kidnapped around 11:30 p.m. on Sunday, February 6 by armed men who had stormed the parish house. The cook of the parish house was killed in the attack. In a statement released on Tuesday, the 8th of February 2022, the Presidency of the Commission of the Bishops' Conferences of the European Union, CUMS, expresses its deep concern on President Macron's proposal of including a supposed right to abortion in the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the European Union. Aware of the tragedy and complexity of the situations in which mothers considering an abortion find themselves, the EU bishops highlight the need to provide the necessary help and assistance to women in distress and to their unborn child. Caring for women who are in a difficult or a conflict situation because of their pregnancy is a central part of the diaconal ministry of the Church and must also be a duty exercised by our societies, reads the statement of the EU bishops. From a legal perspective, the members of the CUMS presidency stress that there is no recognized right to abortion in European or international law. Attempting to change this, they continue, not only goes against fundamental European beliefs and values, but would be an unjust law, devoid of an ethical foundation and destined to be a cause of perpetual conflict among the citizens of the EU. The proposal of President Macron of inserting this supposed right can in no way be seen as breathing new life into our basic rights, continued the bishops of the European Union. Recalling the founding fathers of the European Union, the CUMS presidency stresses that the European integration should always foster and promote respect for different identities and avoid ideological impositions. The statement of the CUMS presidency follows President Emmanuel Macron's speech addressed to the European Parliament on January 19, 2022 in the context of the French presidency of the Council of the European Union.
Watch our programme every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Catholic News World channel. God bless.
Please subscribe to Catholic News World's YouTube channel. Thanks and God bless.